Okay, welcome to part 5. Now we start with finishing the various parts, the pump tube, barrel, the stocks which need cleaning and clear coating with some true oil, and I also have to drill the pinholes all the way through the forestock, because on the 761 XL style forestock they used on these when the variant 2s, when the plastic ones with the molded in checkering ran out. They used those, but they didn't drill the holes all the way through. I don't know. They couldn't use a longer drill bit or what. So I'll have to do that. And painting the receivers and this sort of thing. We all got cleaned down with bare metal real pretty. Time to finish that up while I order the seal kit. And it's the kit that has the seals and parts that are commonly replaced at rebuild time. Keep everything working good. So we'll have to do that pretty soon here to get the seal kit in a reasonable amount of time because of Christmas and all of that. So let's hit it. Okay, I cleaned off my little work table and took some of the paper they used to pack them boxes over there and taped it over the top so I can find something to prop those receiver halves on. Because I have to paint inside the top edge where the BB magazine is, because a lot of the paint came off on one side. And I took a green Scotch-Brite pad and cleaned them up a little, and I'll clean them with some rubbing alcohol one more time before I paint them. And I'll be using some gloss black Rust-Oleum. That's always good. Wears real well too. So tomorrow we'll do that. But right now, at least, I got the table set up. It's got legs like an ironing board. It's very sturdy with these lugs on the bottom to change the working height. Okay, I used some rubbing alcohol and cotton balls with the paper towel there to clean these things one more time before I hit them with some gloss black Rust-Oleum there. I don't know how I wound up with 2 cans of gloss, but I got a can of semi-gloss but it's got the primer mixed in with it. That just dries like it sprays on foamy, so it looks like the surface of the moon. It's all cratered and pitted when it dries. So I'm just going to use gloss. This sort of, it has a kind of a gloss to it from being die cast. It's a zinc or zinc alloy. Okay, I'll paint it and then come back and show you. Okay, and here they are painted initially. I had to touch up the one on the right there, the left side, that is to say, a little bit. I hit the sides of both of them a little, and I don't know, I have to touch it up again because that's something coming out of the metal. It's making it look kind of grainy, like it's a little weird because I cleaned the surface and everything. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. The lettering's looking nice and crisp on the left side receiver. Right side receiver half looks a little better, quite frankly. But all in all, it looks pretty good. Some primer on there probably would have helped, but I didn't want to make the paint too thick where it goes on. The bottom of the one receiver half, it's got the numbers stamped in, the serial numbers stamped into it. which it shouldn't have. So I think the one half of the receiver was replaced. Okay, and I shut the heater off right there because that's an exposed element heater, and I don't want to go carfoom with all the fumes in there and get blown to the moon. Because it's like alkyd enamel or something besides other fumes and, you know, chemicals and shit. So we'll just let those dry, and we'll see what happens with. Oh, you want to see something neat? That's the little things that one's sitting on. I had two out of these pizza boxes I'm saving over here to fix the backstop box over there. Well, it's a modular backstop, but anyway. Those are the things that go in the center of the pizza. I managed to save two of them. Used masking tape and taped two of them together with the three little legs. So I got something to set those things on and balance it on, so I can paint it. So let's see how that looks. And once this dries real good, the beauty of it is you can use, you know, the gun oils like they say rem oil that you put on the barrel and the pump tube and screws or whatnot like that. You can also use safely use on this Rust-Oleum. I don't know what it looks like. It's got bubbles in it or something. I can't figure that out because it's not the kind that's got the primer in it. It's just plain old glass. I don't know why that's doing that. We just have to wait and see. And here we are the next day. Last night's storm was over about mid-morning. You can finally see how shiny it is when it's all dry. It's a lot smoother. And you can see the lettering here is nice and crisp. That's from letting the stripper do its job. Alright. I'm going to use a drum sander to chamfer this edge right here. There's like a sharp edge right there, making it hard to pull the parts out of the inside of that pump tube. So I gotta get that tightened down on there, and then I can chamfer that, and then the 2500 grit silicone carbide paper came in. I don't know if it says that on there, but well, anyway, it's a better quality of wetback paper. So we'll do the 2500 after I do this, and I got to clean them up inside and everything, so there's no funk getting in the bluing chemicals. Hit it again. Grab it, everything. Okay. Right on the very edge right there, I put a chamfer on there. That ought to make it easier to get everything in and out. I had to push things out before with that with the tubing cutter they used on that thing. It left a little edge they didn't take off. Okay. That's a Dremel with a built-in speed control, like typical modern moto tool. Okay, and a pretty decent little chamfer on there. Just need a little quick chamfer just to take that sharp edge off. Okay, so now if I can see how we, oh, okay, little sticky strip on there. Okay, I can deal with that. Barber shears. Oh, I can't get that out of there. I can't get the thing to let go. Forget how many of these I bought, to be honest. And the plastic just came off. Well, anyway. That's Chinese, all right. Dalabao. On. Okay, and then fold over like that. About a 1/4 to 1/3 of a long sheet like that. And let's get that rag a little closer. I had to clean the thing anyway, so I thought I'd go ahead and use the 2500 grit. Speaking of which, let's just make sure it actually says that on there. Yep, 2500 CW. Show you how I do it is like before. Get this done today since it's pushing 3 o'clock, and by 5 it's going to be dark and it's cloudy anyway. Tomorrow for sure we are going to get the bluing done, and then we'll finish up the stock work, which isn't going to be much, and order the seal kit with the springs and everything so I can let this stuff sit and cure for a week. Okay, well, I'll polish this up with the 2500 grit this last time here. The final polish. I started right there. It's a little more mirror-like. That's the difference between 2000 and 2500. Okay, I got it polished with 2500 grit. Got my dirty gloves off. It's always good to use these latex gloves to work with, so you don't get all this dark gray powdery metal in your skin. It's a bugger to get off. My lighted magnifier. Pretty good little table light here. I'll have to remember that when I'm trying to show you guys stuff. I wish I had my cam lube hadn't gone bad. It's graphite grease you put on the cam lobes when you install it, because use that and a brass round head screw in a drill. You put a little chamfer in the end of the barrel there. Makes it more accurate. Just don't have a way to do that. I'd love to be able to get something just right for doing that, like maybe a round aluminum oxide stone for the Dremel, maybe. I have to work on that. I used to be really good at doing polyangle valve grinds and all that for competition cylinder heads and porting and polishing and all that stuff. But anyway, new little rubbing alcohol. I use denatured alcohol. I use rubbing alcohol to clean it. That's close enough. Some rip off Cotton's balls. Owie! And wipe this thing down a little with some. Oh, I can't get that to. Oh, hell with it. I'm just going to sit here and fiddle with that thing for 3 hours. Okay. If I had brains enough, I'd go grab a bathroom cup to put this in, but I'm not going to fool with it. And these things can squirt like crazy with the new kind of cap, so drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Think of it like drizzling olive oil. So let us get this clean off. Not a lot of dirt coming off of it after you wipe it off with a shop towel or something, or other soft cloth. You can see this thing is just cloth. The shop towel here is dirty from wiping that off. Get the end there. Interesting, this variant 2 barrel. This is the breech end that goes inside this receiver. There's a groove right here. It goes on something. I didn't notice particularly when I took it apart what that is. It's one of those little variations on a theme. There now, got all that funk. This little hole right here by my thumbnail. That's where the gasket, they call it a gasket, but that's where you put that cut piece of tubing, because that's the exhaust port into here behind the pellet in the breech about there. Just wanted to make sure this thing looks real good for you there, Jeff. And I'm glad you're enjoying watching the show. Psycho Circus, can you do that? Welcome to the show. But there's a lot of deep scratching and pitting on this rifle. This thing was thrown around Godzilla's playpen until you brought it to me. So it proves once again that shit happens. But this thing is going to look worlds better than it did. Oh, and I passed up on it, but I was looking at eBay yesterday when I wound up buying another 761 XL where the brass plated receiver and all this sort of thing was in better shape than the one I got up there from March 76. But so the guy said it was broken. It's not broken. You just need to lube it and see if you can get the seals to work again. You don't keep them things lubed when they put them away. Air guns are like that. And multi-pumpers, you got to keep one pump in that thing to keep the seals compressed and all that stuff. But anyway, it's ready to get re-blued tomorrow. I was trying to think of a way I could make something cheaply and easily to make a dip tank, but then I finally thought a week or so later, I don't have but a quart of this stuff, and that wouldn't be enough to finish this job, let alone starting something else. Once I start doing dip tanks, I gotta buy perma blue and all that by the gallon. That's just the way it's gonna have to be. Because if I can dip it, I can save myself a whole day's worth of work. Dip it and let it soak for 20 or 30 minutes. Take it out and rinse it off with water, and then you hose it down with gun oil, and you just hang it up someplace with like a metal coat hanger turned into a hook like I use. I'll show you when we get to that part. So that it can hang there and cure in a warm room for a week. It's almost like charcuterie, you know what I mean? Like with dried sausages and stuff like that, or dry cure, whatever you want to call it. I got a book for doing that too. One of these times I'm going to do some of that once I can get out and start hunting again. Pig and venison and stuff like that. I'll make sausage. I even thought about making some kind of nice bratwurst out of rabbit. You know, season it like chicken or something. So you never know what you're going to see or hear on this show, folks. women folks in there making cookie dough with that KitchenAid 600 Pro mixer I bought my wife with the attachments. You can even make ice cream and sorbets and stuff like that with that thing. But anyway, there they are. You can, in this, look at that, how shiny those are. Okay, I think I finally got everything put together to start bluing these things. I'm going to do the pump tube first. As a matter of fact, let's get all this picked up. I can fold this in half. It's going to puddle up over here, and I don't want the rag soaking everything up. Okay. Birchwood Casey Cleaner Degreaser. Okay. And a quart of Birchwood Casey Perma Blue. Don't use Super Blue, that's garbage. This is the newer formulation called Perma Blue. It's better. Period. End of sentence. Okay. Okay, let's. I wish I could buy the cleaner degreaser in a bigger bottle. Get Perma Blue in quarts and gallons. True Oil in, it's like an 8-ounce pint or some shit. Taller brown bottle. But these things, I can't find any of this stuff in a bigger bottle. It's pink colored, and it kind of, the smell reminds me of the home perm solution I used to have to help my mother use back in the 60s. And we'll get out some cotton balls. Get out a couple from now. Set some of this stuff down on the floor next to me by the filing cabinet so it's not in my way. Roll my sleeves up past my elbows. Okay, now we can clean this down. Oh, I knew I was gonna forget something. Well, we got everything gathered up. Let's do it. First of all, I gotta get a cotton ball soaked with cleaner pushed through here with this old the handle ends got this part broke off in it. Matter of fact, so does this one. All the pieces are broken. So if I could just get that cleaned out. I wanted to use the handle, but the handle and this end here, I'll have the screw-on parts busted off in it for some dumb reason. If I could get this one has a little sticking out. I might be able to use needle nose to get it out, but this one's broke off clean. But I usually use just for pushing stuff through pump tubes. So if I could salvage these two sections, I'd have something long enough to do that with and have a handle on it besides. So let that soak while I remember to put my gloves on. Get these at Walmart, 100 of them for a low price. I wasn't there, so I don't know how much they paid for it. There's 100 of them in a box, small, medium, large. These are the large, and they come out about there on me, so you push them back a little. So a woman with small hands, like my wife and my daughter use like a medium, but that fits somebody with small hands with a little room beside, so they're not so brutally tight you can't get them on. That's Gorilla Gloves too, the ones that make Gorilla Tape and all that. So keep that in mind, folks. Phew, wee, that just about used it all. Well, that's not as easy as you'd think to get that stuffed in there. Stupid thing gets stuck in there and you can't get it to go through. Okay, and that's the result. That thing is filthy. Bunch of black dirt coming out and whatnot like that. And I'm almost out of these and nobody bought any more. I use a ton of these blue paper shop towels and just wish I could get some more. I hate when that happens. You roll your sleeves up and you start unrolling and your hands are all dirty. Darn it. Need to get me a dowel rod bigger than this to push that through. Sometimes you need something big around to get that in there. And dry one comes out pretty dirty. I swore I had a third one out there. No. Those are cotton balls, boo-boo. That's not something for little doggies to chew on. Okay, we'll get another dry one through there. I'm sorry if you couldn't see that, but I got the... Oh, I can't get that in there. Got the camera set up pretty close. See, I can push it down to about there with the one that's got the handle on it. If it just wasn't broken. I would just like that off the rod. That's what I mean. When you're working on these things, you get all that shit down in there. It's filthy. You can't let the bluing get mixed up with that stuff. It's got to be. There's some more. That's Lord knows when that thing was clean last. Getting dirty fingerprints on the outside of the metal too, but I can't help it. Oh, this is the end that goes inside the receiver. This is the end that sticks outward. The barrel band end cap goes here, and the pump lever goes in here, and the piston goes back and forth right there. That puts the valve back in here. Well, right about there, you know. Kind of reminds me of trying to load a muzzle loader or trying to clean one. Oh, there's a lot of dirt come out of that thing. You can see some dirty rings in there. That stuff, I just about have to soak it to get it all out. I'm not gonna waste my time. And chemical. I got a lot of that chemical left, and I got to get the barrel in this thing, you know, cleaned. Okay. Now I gotta take ball bearing handle cleaning rod here, 177 17 caliber. I gotta use that one to clean out the inside of the barrel. Got to see if I can find someplace like Cabela's that's got quarts of cleaner degreaser and blue and rust remover from Birchwood Casey. I need these bigger bottles. I use a lot of chemicals. It takes a lot of chemical to do all this stuff, and just one job can use up a good bit of it. Okay. Oh, and once you get done using that stuff to clean this with, you gotta rinse it off. That's what this is. I save these half-gallon vodka jugs and strip off the labels and just use that for rinse water. And these 5-quart ice cream pails to rinse into. Real handy. You can squeeze this off back into your little 3-ounce bathroom cup. These are hefty cups I get from the grocery store for a couple of bucks for like 50 or 100 of them. And you just turn it around like that to wipe it down. Make sure you go all the way around. See, I'm getting a little bit of dirt there, not a lot, but you got to get the dirt off from polishing and handling and cleaning it on the inside. You clean the outside last. So you always, always, always clean from the inside out. Not exactly soap, but this stuff foams up kind of like some kind of liquid cleaner. Soapy kind of, you know. Nope. Thought I could clean your slopping off the table with that, but by God, it won't clean it. Tells me I'm not sure I want to know what's in this stuff. Okay, let's... I wish I had some place to... I ain't got no place to put these doggone cleaning rod stuff out of my way. Oh, anyway. I'm trying to rearrange this so you can see. Like, you can set this on top of the can here, or the rinse pail, while you mess with this because you forgot to open the rinse water jug. Anywho, all over it and inside and everything. You gotta get all that rinsed real nice. Okay. Just try to rinse it off. Set it back over there and let that dry a mite. Okay, I'll come back after I clean the inside of the barrel with some patches and the cleanser and rinse it and all that stuff, and then we'll get to bluing the pump tube first. Okay, 17 caliber Dewey ball bearing handle cleaning rod. spear tip jag, and these patches for 17 to 22, and he's close enough to dip in here. And clean the barrel bore. Fits real snug too. The Brownell's spear tip jag. See that? Gets a lot of dirt out. So take that off, pull it out, and you just keep taking one of these round patches. Like I said, it's from 17, 20, 22, and you just use the right diameter of these Brownell's spear tip jags. Brownells.com. Because the part right down here that this thing's sitting on top of with that little pin, that's the diameter of the bore plus the 10,000ths or so of the patch. Just dip the edge of the patch in there, let it drip a couple of times, and get it stop shaking long enough to get it in the bore without breaking it. Start it in, and once again that thing's dirty. So, oops. I basically have to clean the bore, then wipe the barrel down on the outside like we did the pump tube there, and rinse it off inside and out. Then we dry it, wipe it down and let it dry a bit, and then we can start bluing it. Okay, as I said, use perma-blue to blue these things up. And it's like a 5-quart ice cream pail, great for rinsing. And it's the easiest if you put your rinse water in one of those cheap half-gallon vodka jugs like you get at the grocery store. Hey, you can drink more of it, enjoy it longer before you get hammered. Anyway, let's plain old rim oil with Teflon lube in it to hose it down with after we get it blued to the darkness we want and all that. But you know, right about the time I gotta get to work, my nose is gonna start dripping. Dang, Bell's palsy in the right side of my face makes my eyes and nose run. So sometimes you see me do it, you might think I'm sick or I got a cold or something, and I don't. It's just the Bell's palsy messing up my face. Lose control of the motor nerves. Okay, let's... Oh, and by the way, almost forgot to show you. Took a metal coat hanger and shaped it like that. I could stick this through one of the holes in there and hang it up on the edge of the shelf right there. So let's just put that right there where we can grab it. Okay. This is the front, as I said, because you got the slot for the pump arm. See? As I said, blue in previous videos, bluing is a chemically induced rust. It's running around there. I hope I can cover that up. I hate that. When it runs around, it makes the color uneven in my mind. Now you're thinking, well, if he's chemically inducing the thing to rust, why is he spending so much time and effort polishing it? Because that's where the sheen, the steely blue sheen comes from. That's why. See? And I got a whole bag of cotton balls, so I ain't worried about it. Now you gotta let this sit for, I don't know, maybe a minute. Squeeze a little bit of black stuff in there, I know, but I ain't worried about the sooty shit. And then you gotta rinse it before it starts to rust in the regular sense. Okay? Let's layer on there. I'll just show you how I start it, and then once it looks the way I'm satisfied with the way it looks, hose it down with that, hang it up, and try not to touch it for 5 to 7 days. Get the excess out of there so I'm not wasting too much, because it puddles up right here and you gotta wipe it up and all of that. I try to stroke like that from one end to the other as much as possible to try to keep it even. It's not exactly like painting, if there is an art to it. And the cleaner, I should say the purer the metal is, and the cleaner you got it, the better the end result's going to be. You can see here it's pretty darn even. More typical of the pump tubes than the barrels there, unfortunately. Boy, that looks good. Getting a little weaker up here though, I can't help it. It's okay, let's try it this way. Over there, darn it. Squeeze out the excess slightly, don't squeeze too hard. Like I said, there's an art to doing this well. And some of the guys, like on the Facebook groups or GTA, like I said, I've done some of the best cold bowing they've ever seen. And they always claim that even with cold blooming, you got to heat the metal up. It likes warm metal. Well, I found that doesn't work that well. It makes it easier to, oh, I can't get my finger on it. Makes it easier to get this stuff to look kind of patchy when it's going on. Light and dark patches and everything. And I can still see it up in here, but okay, looking pretty good, but just stuff runs out and soaks in, and all that is just looking kind of how should I say, just looking a little patchy, but pretty good. Okay, let's get this up here where I can rinse it off. And guess what? I forgot to take the cap off again. Good thing I'm not like my weightlifter gym rat sons. They get these caps on so tight you can't get it loose. No. Okay. Okay. Try to get the excess water off this a little bit. You can see the water is starting to look kind of rusty colored. Well, that's why. It turns to regular rust, exposed to air for long enough. And that's just a minute or two. That ain't long. Not bad, huh? I'll rub it down. I've had to rub as much as... Oh, I can't get that to sit still. It won't sit still. But anyway, had to rub on like 8 or 10 coats on average, about 8 to get a nice finish. So I'll shut the camera off and finish this up and come back and show you. Alrighty, I just can't get the light to shine on it real good. That's, instead of doing coats and rinse, what I think I started doing is keeping it wet and doing it for several minutes. I didn't time it. It might be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or something. You're just constantly using cotton balls and the little 3-ounce hefty bathroom cups to soak it. And then once it gets down as even as and dark as you can get it, which doesn't take long, I just use this one because this pump spray is vapor locking on me. So I used the new Rem Oil Pro 3. It soaks in better, so hopefully it'll drag the bluing into the metal a little better. And I don't really care about the carpet because it's gonna get replaced anyway. So there we go with the pump tube. Now we'll start on the barrel and do the same thing. I just change how I do it, looking for better ways to do it, to put it that way. Okay, forgot to put the camera back on. I started on the barrel. That's looking pretty good so far. There's the breech opening just for reference. And here is the front sight hole. Now let's like I was saying earlier with the pump tube, I'm just gonna after a lot, I've had to do a lot of thinking. Let's just put it that way about how to actually do this. So we can't dip it and soak it, which is the best, most even way to do this. Then I will keep it wet. And if the metal, it's a good batch of steel basically that they use for making the barrels and pump tubes and all that. Then you get this, when it's cured and oiled and everything, it gets a real nice even black shine. So basically what I am trying to do here is keep it wet with this stuff, so it builds up that chemically induced rust thick enough to where it'll look even. That's about the easiest way I can explain it to you. Okay. Just keep it wet so that it has ample time to soak in. Dip tanks would be the best. Just get somebody with a 3D printer to make me some long, small troughs about yay big a square for these barrels, and then a shorter one about like that for the pump tubes. And I could, was looking nice, and I can soak them for 20 or 30 minutes and let it get in there, get in there really good. Then they look really nice, like I do with small parts and screws and stuff like that. I've fixed the screws and wire brush them to polish them real nice, and then soak them in a jar with a little bit of this stuff. So it's not a quick process, and but I am learning different ways to get by and get a decent finish, but it's got to be fairly pure steel to begin with. Some good quality steel will go a long way to getting a good job out of this. It's looking just about perfect there. Just got to use a lot of tissues and stuff and run out of paper towels to mop up the mess with. But I think I'll pick it up. I think I got this about as good as I'm going. It's like you can only get it down so dark, and then it's just, you're not going to get it any better than that. This is what it's like when you're actually here doing it. That's looking beautiful. Look at that, isn't it great? get your arm in it. God damn it, I can't reach all the way over there to get that. Hate it when my arm gets drug, the skin of my arm gets drug across it. I can't help it because I'm reaching so dang far trying to get a tissue to mop all this up with. Okay, now we gotta rinse it off. Good thing I topped off this water jug yesterday. Didn't use about all the water I had in there. Oh, I got it on the. Oh, I'm never gonna mop up this mess. Just gotta get the mess mopped up. Got the rag on. Oh my God, I didn't have to reach too far. Oh, come on, Ben, darn it. Okay, I'll try to hold this down here where y'all can see. Get me oil on it. Comes out of this can kind of foamy with this Pro 3 stuff, but hey, whatever. Okay. Gotta hang that. Okay. And there we have it for the bluing. Okay, I'm not getting a lot of sunlight over here, but I'm using my metal coat hanger shelf hooks. You can bend them any way you need to hang them wherever you need to hang them, but they fit these wire shelf rack things real nice. To strap off my neck here, see if I can get down here a little better. Sun's a little higher in the sky right now, so it's sort of hard to get some reflection with the table sitting over there. And that's what the water winds up looking like. Just like the faucet hasn't been turned on in a long time. Stuff turns to regular rust, so you got to hose that down with gun oil and soak it real good, so the stuff has time to cure before it turns to regular rust. That's what polishing the metal does, and having the parts made out of good steel to begin with, or to get more of the impurities out, and you get a more even tone.